fly ass chicks who paint them pretty ass lips. With them trap boys out doubling up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a glitch. Rap with a package, see what it is. Swerve with the traffic like I lost control of the whip. Hurt the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines mean nothing when you're hugging the bridge. Red light, green light, headlight, beat bright. Right, superstar life, make these lanes hate. Right, fabulous flow, make the girls say nice. So rock cups full to the party break light. The cross keys going to the cab in sight. On to the next, like Jay said, right? Yeah, swag too slick, make a hater wanna bite. Not out of 10, I'm feeling what you place in my life. So what I gotta prove? Living my lyrics like boy, nothing to lose. And I'm harmful on the mic, hit the beats be bruised. The cat look calm like I never made a move. Back on the beat, back the hammer in his teeth. These boys all brittle, try to fractionalize. I never move cripple cause I got 2 feet. Provided my own meals, boy, nobody fed me. The grind is impeccable, I've been chasing decimals. Now it's like me and the money is inseparable. Catch the message that I'm sending to you. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. I've been through it, blood I've been spewed. Now I feel like a champ, bitch, I'm undisputed. About to conquer the whole game, the hustle never been lame. The pretty soon you fucks will remember my name.
Well, how's everybody doing out there? Welcome to Talk US Tuesday. I'm here, baby. Hold up, my fault. I ain't even show my face. I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm here. How's everybody doing? Dennis Holmes in the building. You know what I mean? Ron Thomas, how you doing, Ron?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
First, my fault, everybody. Merry New Year. Merry New Year, everybody. Merry New Year. I didn't. How you spend your holidays, man? It was good?
It was great, man. The family came through and we just chilled.
That's what's up. Hey, Chocolate Girl. How was your holiday, Chocolate Girl?
Hey, everybody. My holiday was fantastic. Nice and safe. Spent it with my family, bringing in the new year, new luck. You know, good vibes, nothing but positive vibes only. So everything was great.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, Zara, how was your Merry New Year?
You gotta say it properly. Merry New Year, beef jerky time, oh boy. It was great, you know. I mean, I'm here. That's the most important thing. Hopefully 2022 is much better. Although, it's life. We still live in this thing. So let's make the best of it, and let's make 2022 a good one.
What's going on, Zara? I'm sorry. What is going on, Guru? How you doing out there, Guru?
Hey, truth be told, I've been in a lot of pain lately, but I hope my doctor shoots me up tomorrow. I'm hoping and praying to give me some drugs.
All right. How was your holidays?
It was painful, but I'm here.
Okay.
All right. I mean, Guru wants some joy in a stick. Stick it in.
Cortisone. I think they call it cortisone.
Oh yeah. I've had that. That's some good stuff.
That numb medicine, baby.
Mm-hmm. That's some good stuff, especially for your joints. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with these? You know what? Listen. Usually we start off with trash ass and certified players, right? But as y'all see, I named the show today Free AB. Now we're gonna go around and we're gonna give how we felt about Antonio Brown getting butt naked like he was on that Sherm in the middle of a game and leaving during halftime. So, Ron, you go ahead.
Well, if Bruce Arians did say that to him, that's not how you supposed to act. AB could have said, okay, you know what? Cool. We will talk after the game. See, I got a problem with how he acts. AB should never did that. You were at a game and you just started taking off your clothes and running on the field. No, that's not how you act, man. Act like you're a grown up. Act like you got some business about yourself.
Sharon, you want to go, Sharon?
No, not yet.
All right, go ahead, Zar.
Oh man, I mean, it's still a lot more stuff that's going to come out about this. I mean, they're talking the money is the bonus thing. Now he said it wasn't about the money, so I'll buy that. It was about his injury. I don't know. I mean, yes, the reaction that he gave, yeah, I mean, it was over dramatic and, but, we know Antonio Brown, he's kind of been this way the last, 3-4 years. He's kind of been showing his butt a little bit since he kind of blew up, once he kind of became this big star. Some people take that and run with it. And, yes, that probably could have been handled a little bit better. But as far as what's behind it, he may have some points. He may have some reasoning. But, does it justify what he did? Probably not, the way it was handled. But I'm sure he had some reasoning for just, exploding the way he did. But I'm waiting for even more stuff to come out. Like I said, this story ain't over by a long shot. So I'm just waiting to hear more. Until then, I'm not going to place judgment. I think he probably could have just handled it better, but I'm sure he probably had a reason for why he did what he did. And I'm just going to leave it at that for now.
Okay. All right. Guru, what you got, Guru?
Well, I've never been a fan of Bruce Arians. Going back to, one of the things I must applaud him for is his, minority hiring, Bowles, Leftwich, the other cat that was the interim coach for a little bit. And he's done a great job. He also hired a woman to, in a position that has never been held in the NFL as well. So he's done a great job with that. But I try to take everything in its totality. And I remember him with Haskins. I don't like people who like to, beat up on the small people and kick you when you're down. And he did a lot of kicking of that young man when he was down. And I didn't appreciate it because I really like Haskins. And going back to everything that happens in our society, when people like people, they don't like it when they're being treated badly, whether it be your kids, whether it be your parents or whoever else. And as soon as this happened, I did all my, due diligence. And the first thing I heard about was the money. I posted the issue that if this was about, the money and this is the way Arians handled it. And if that was the underlying reason that he needed to be dealt with, because like I said, Arians got a lot of nastiness in him. He's the type of guy that'll give you $1 million and then curse you out 5 minutes later. Okay, that's his personality. That's why him and Brady was not, basically not getting along in the beginning because of his flippant mouth and the way that he was saying things. And Brady wasn't feeling that. And then, it's still kind of unbelievable that they went on that run they did last year because they were dead and buried. And all of a sudden they just rose from the dead and went on a tremendous run thanks to Green Bay and a few other things that went their way, not taking anything away from them. Now, you got the Chris Broussards of the world and Rob Parker talking about you got to be professional and all this other kind of bull crap. Well, Rob Parker's the same guy who was kicked out of ESPN, fired nonetheless, because he was making racial comments about RG3's cornrows. So now you have guys who don't have any leg to stand on. Rob Parker was fired about 20. He's had about 30 something jobs in 30 something years. I had one job in 30 something years myself. And, who you trust more? The guy with all those jobs that got fired all the time, or the guy that basically, was so good at his job that he lasted 30 something years? Okay, so this is the nonsense you have with our society, that people are now passing judgment. We all know that AB he's a loose cannon. We saw the video with him and his baby mom, and we saw he was 3 days within getting $30 million, and he couldn't keep his mouth shut with the Raiders. I mean, so I don't know if he got that much money. All I do know is every time he's about to get a lot of money, he seems to do something to lose it. So that right there makes him certified crazy in my book. But being certified crazy doesn't mean that people weren't out to get you. Doesn't mean they didn't have an agenda. We know that Arians didn't want him, and the only reason he brought him back is because what's his name, Brady wanted him back, and so to appease Brady, that's why they brought him back. So there's a lot of, as Czar said, there's a lot of underlying stuff that's yet to be. The last thing that I want to say about it is that I heard Bruce Arians in an interview say he knew nothing about an injury. Okay, now there's a report that's coming out in about, I guess in the very near future that I heard on another show that yes, that it was on the injury report. Bruce Arians knew about it. And, why would you lie about it? See, this is the problem I'm having. Why are you lying? And let me say, this goes on in sports all the time. This money stuff and hurting people and trying to embarrass people. And whether he was right or wrong, hey, man, if you got a lot of money and somebody does you wrong, believe me, you're going to tell them to kiss your ass too. You're not going to be worried about how it looks. He took off the jersey, he took off their stuff, he put it down, and he left to tell them, like, you can kiss my what. I wish that, there were so many times in my job for 30-something years I had to take so much garbage, and I couldn't do that. So when you're able to do that, it gives you a freedom that's unlike anything else. And like I said to Czar earlier, the Cowboys need a wide receiver. If I'm Jerry Jones and I'm the plantation owner, as I like to call them, I'm going to give him a call. All these people talk about they don't want to call him, or he did. They got people that kill people in the NFL. Okay, the guy, a vehicular homicide, killed the person and brought him back. All right, so this is not that. Oh, and he's supposed to. He should go cry. The state troopers, they can drive you to anything else, but because he wasn't with the team anymore, they couldn't drive him to the airport. What kind of nonsense is that? I thought they're supposed to help people. Okay. So so now he decides, I guess, to stay in New York. Maybe he couldn't get a plane out. There's so much stuff going on the plane. So he goes to the Brooklyn Net game. Oh, there's a problem with that. So unless he's at home crying, unless he's home sulking, unless he's home, with his finger up his behind, then everybody's not happy then. Bull. I'm done.
All right. Sharon, you ready?
Sure. I'm really hesitant to talk about this subject because I feel like it's being over talked about, like it's the only thing to talk about. And I'm not really understanding why people are so engrossed and so just all over the story as if, they knew from the very beginning something fishy was going on from the moment he took his shirt off. It's really funny to me how lightning fast everybody's opinion swayed one way. And me, I was just trying to ask people questions and trying to find out who knows what and when. And I was trying to look at what happened on the sideline from different angles. Because from what I understand, many people are posting different angles of what happened on the sideline. Then I wanted to hear what Tom Brady said that his conversation with him was, and then I got that. I don't know where everybody else is finding all these updates from, but I had to work today, so I wasn't really checking. But if all this other information is coming out, then okay, I guess it's coming out. But here's the thing. I thought that what Arian said was that Antonio Brown had not told them that he was injured on that day. I didn't hear him say that he said he didn't see the injury report prior. I thought that he was saying that Antonio Brown didn't say he was still injured that day. Of course, AB is saying, yes, I did. I told him I was still injured and not healthy enough to go back in the game. Who's going to know? Who's going to know? I mean, who's going to, how is somebody going to solve that? I mean, I don't think we'll ever really know the truth. And because we probably won't know the truth, we're going to be left to having to make up our mind and decide amongst ourselves what we saw and what we do know to be true. And what we saw was somebody not behaving in a very positive way and leaving the game. And I'm sure many of his teammates feel like he gave up on the team. I believe that's what Mike Evans was trying to express to him before he left. Hey, I understand you pissed, but this is a team, man. We can't just do this. So I'm a fan of AB as a player because he is so gifted. I mean, he literally could be the best wide receiver of all time. He could actually, if all of this stuff over the past 4 years hadn't happened and he just kept playing and kept his nose clean and kept playing, he would probably wind up and end his career as the greatest wide receiver ever. I really believe that that's how skilled this man is. But we deal in realities here, so on Talk Your Ish, so it is what it is. I'm not ready to call Arians a straight up liar, despite whatever else he's done with anybody else. I'm not ready to call AB a liar either. I don't know if this was as much as one person's lying on the other, or if there was a communication breakdown of some type. I mean, we've even seen it on this show where one person can say something and someone will think they heard them and heard them wrong and respond to what they think they heard. And then you got the first person saying, oh no, wait a minute. That's not what I was saying. That's what you said. That's not what I was saying. And it's not even what they were meaning. So a lot of the times you can be communicating with somebody thinking that you're on the same page and talking about the same thing when you really aren't. And so one person will answer saying yes to something and they don't realize the other person is thinking they're talking about something else. So I don't know anything about the song he came up with. Somebody said he went and made a song right afterwards. I think I saw the link on his Twitter page, but I didn't click on it and listen to it. I do understand that this has snowballed into the players union getting involved, but I'm gonna keep quiet about the NFL players union right now because I don't have a lot of faith in the players union for the NFL anyway. I really don't. And then people got the nerve to complain about the commissioner after what you agreed to okay. All right. Let me just table that for some other time. But my bottom line feeling is I wish him well. I hope he gets any help that he deserves. And if there is some shenanigans, that it be found out and whoever was guilty of the shenanigans be held accountable, be it coaching staff, player, trainers, what you call them things, those people, referees, anybody involved that was up to some shenanigans, let them be held accountable, whatever. So that's where I'm at. I'm holding off any final judgment or opinion until I hear more information that needs to be validated, not just conjecture and not just social media commentary and drivel and conspiracy theories, because everybody should know that social media is full of a whole lot of keyboard experts that don't know shiggity about nothing. That's it.
Yeah. Now, when I first seen this, and as everybody know, each and every Sunday, we watch all the games on Zoom. You know, we sit here in Zoom, watch all the games. And we was sitting here, and you know, June was like, "Yo, they said something about AB just took his jersey off and left off the field in the middle of the game," and I was like, "Nah, ain't nothing like that happened." Then you go and you look, it comes right on Red Zone. Antonio Brown has taken off his jersey and left during the game. I said, "What in the heezy?" It's like I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "This is crazy." So then, you know, I'm on there, and you know, we just keep trying to look for it, trying to see it again. You know, we trying to figure out what happened. You know, why ain't nobody trying to stop him? Why ain't nobody help him? You know, it ain't nobody's job to help him, but what made him do this? Like, what is going on? Like, and out of all the angles and videos I've seen, I only seen one player go to him. Not no coaches, not no staff. One player, as Mike Evans, go to him, say something, wasn't enough, took the stuff off, he left. That's what I seen. That's exactly what I seen. And yes, BJ, you did have it before Red Zone. Shout out to Sam Sports, always giving you the latest information. He had it before Red Zone. They were interviewing a lot of players. And I kept saying, why ain't nobody interview Mike Evans? That's all I kept saying in my head. Why ain't nobody interview Mike Evans? He the only one touched him. He the only one actually said something to him. Why nobody interview Mike Evans? They interview Mike Evans. And I to this day, I still don't understand it. But, you know, the first thing I thought about was those incentives. That was the first thing I thought about, was those incentives. And I was like, see, people ain't going to keep playing through these incentives no more. They're going to start wanting guaranteed contracts. That's what they're going to start wanting. NFL players are going to start wanting guaranteed contracts. That's exactly what I said. And I remember hearing this years ago. I think it was 2016 on the Breakfast Club when Victor Cruz was on there. And he was saying how NFL teams stop players from getting those incentives. And he said it just be little BS things they do, like, oh yeah, you don't have to dress up for this game. Knowing that if you dress up this last game, you'll get $1 million incentive. But they'll say, oh no, don't dress up for this game. We don't want to get you injured or nothing. And you're like, no, I need that $1 million. And they'll talk to the training staff, they'll find ways to stop you from that. That was one of the things that went through my head. Another thing went through my head was Bruce Arians and Antonio Brown's relationship. And I was like, that ain't a good relationship anyway. I never thought it was. To me, it seemed more like the Bill Parcells, Terrell Owens relationship. If y'all ever remember that, he never called Terrell Owens. He called him the player. When he first got the Dallas, he called him the player. And that's how he addressed him, as the player. I just feel as though a lot of this is up in the air. I actually sat back and watched a couple of interviews with Skip and Shannon. And I think I've seen Ryan Clark talk about it twice. And, people were saying, he need help, need this, need that. I don't know if he need help or not. I don't know. Only thing I do know is he gonna definitely make a change, or he gonna end up leaving. But Bruce Arians said on Sunday that Antonio Brown is no longer on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is Talk U.S. Tuesday. He's still currently a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm gonna say one thing. He can't do that. Like Shannon told me the other day, he got to file paperwork. He got to go through all the paperwork and stuff. You cannot just You cannot just say this dude not on the team and not being on the team. No, you gotta file paperwork.
And there's a process.
Right.
It's more than just the paperwork. There's a process. Unless it depends, and from what I'm being told, it depends on what happens. Depends on the incident. And I go back to when what's his name was on the Steelers. I forgot the dude's name. What was the running back's name, Dennis? We talked about him before.
On the Steelers, Le'Veon Bell?
No. The one he sent to the locker room, he never came back, and then he ended up on the Patriots the next day.
What the hell was that? How long ago?
Is that LeGarrette Blount?
That's it.
Oh.
LeGarrette Blount. Okay. That situation was different. When Tomlin was in the press conference and said he's no longer a Steeler, he really was no longer a Steeler, because that night, all the paperwork was done and everything was done because he wanted to leave and he didn't want to stay there. And it was nothing. It didn't take nothing but 4 signatures and opportunity. That's all it took. And he was gone. So but the situation was different. There wasn't anything involving an injury. LeGarrette didn't like go and showboat and do all that. It was nothing like that. It was just, he got sent to the locker room. He went to the locker room. No, he didn't get sent to the locker room. He went and he chose to go to the locker room, and that was it. And that's the way it was handled. So what I was saying to Ron is that there is a process that you have to go through when you have different situations like this. Czar pointed out, and Ace Lombard pointed out the fact that the players union got involved. So once the players union got involved, which was after the press conference where Arian said he's no longer a Buccaneer. Let's get that timeline right. After they got involved, of course they can't kick him off the team because the player union is involved now. So you can't do that. So he's got to eat those words a little bit. But that's just like anybody else. You're full of adrenaline. You have emotion. You're going to say stuff in the heat of the moment in the middle of a press conference. You're going to say, oh, well, he's no longer a Buccaneer. Let's talk about the players that stayed and finished the game. I get it. I get it. That's why I'm not hanging on that statement. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm just going by, I just want to know what the timeline was and what happened. That's all I want to know whenever I can find that out. I'm not in a rush to know whatever. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
Well, I wanted to say something in reference to what Skippy and Ron said. Skippy said that Arian said on Sunday he was cut, and here it is Tuesday going on Wednesday, and as we know, he's still on the team. And as far as I know, the reason why he's still on the team is because they're trying to figure out a way they can lie their way out of this and not get caught in their lies, because the legal department is now involved. So basically what they want to tell you is, how can they get rid of Antonio Bryant by saying, he was insubordinate, okay? Because the one thing that was brought up is football is the one sport where you don't get your money if it's not guaranteed. So the money, they're trying to make sure he doesn't get those bonuses, which obviously the players union would go after. They're trying to make sure he doesn't get the base salary, which obviously wasn't that high in the first place. Obviously, he didn't get any signing bonuses because most signing bonuses are guaranteed. Okay, so the reason why he's not, cut right now is because they're trying to figure out legally how they can do this. And with the stuff that has already been said, let's not catch ourselves like Arian did by saying he didn't know it was an injury. Well, if he told the trainers, that's all that counts. It doesn't matter if he told Arian, if the trainers told Arian. He wouldn't have told the trainers he had an injured ankle, and the trainers not tell. I've been involved with this kind of stuff on a college level. There's always this thing where I told somebody that was close to me, always, if they tell you to go in the game, because they'll try to say that's insubordination if you don't go in the game, and they'll try to take your scholarship away from you. Fortunately, the person that I know who did that, they were able to get their scholarship because the school was full of shit, excuse the expression. So they were up to shenanigans, which most of these schools and most of these teams, because first of all, how can you tell somebody they're not hurt? Okay. What's his name? The great, what's his name? Oh God, let me think of what I'm thinking about. Oh, J.R. Richards. Okay. The late J.R. Richards. Okay. He told them he wasn't feeling good. Oh, they told him no, he wasn't. The man had a stroke. Okay. Since two guys on here I know for sure have played big time football, Ron and Skippy. Remember when two-a-days were famous? All they did is make you run two-a-days, and you couldn't drink no water, and all of that stuff exists because of historically what football coaches did. What stopped that?
Corey Stringer.
Thank you. The death of Corey Stringer stopped that. And somebody who I love dearly, one of my favorite coach of all times, Dennis Green, was part of that. And Corey Stringer's late wife got a damn near $1 billion settlement from Minnesota because of that. Okay? So, and I think there was one other person. So it was Corey Springer, Dennis Green, and so that was the two instances that I want. So my point is that you can't tell somebody they're not hurt. You can't do it. First of all, it's not illogical. It's stupid. It's ignorant. So that's Aryan, the ignorance of this man, to tell another man he's not hurt. Okay? So because of those incidences that we go back in history, a lot of coaches will refrain from doing something so damn asinine. So I don't hear enough about Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is dirty, and it's going to find out he's dirty. And the legal department is trying to get him out of this without them giving him as much money as they can. That's what this is about. And that's why he hasn't been cut. Period. That's the answer.
Money.
Anybody else got anything on this free AB moment?
I wish AB could have done it enough. If Bruce Arians did say that, I wish AB would have acted wrong instead of showing out like he did. Because you already got 3 strikes against you: Oakland, Pittsburgh, New England. Now you did that, nobody in the NFL might take a chance on you now.
Oh no, somebody else put them up.
I mean, I just saying. So.
What'd you say, Dennis?
Somebody else will pick them up.
Oh, well.
I agree.
I just think this story is really amazing to me. It's just amazing.
Zara, what you think?
To me, it don't surprise me because, I seen, what happened with T.O., Keyshawn Johnson.
Ted Johnson.
Ocho Cinco stuff was off the field with his. No, I ain't gonna get in that.
but there was some shade done to Chad that he didn't deserve.
Right.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
What's my boy name? Do the show with Chad.
Deshaun Jackson was vilified, and they said stuff to him to try to keep him from being traded. I remember that on your team. That was foul.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson. Gang related.
I mean, yeah. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I thought that was foul. I mean, there's been many players that have been mistreated. I'm gonna say Cam Newton was too on the Panthers, but that's another story. But I'm just saying, in all fairness to everybody, I really want to know the truth about what happened. And I'm just not ready to just say adamantly that either person is lying because I wasn't on there. I wasn't on the side of the field. I can speculate just, based upon the stuff that I've seen and we all know about and what happened with other players and all that stuff. But you got to stick with what happened, what's factual about this incident. And I don't know enough about it. So
Yeah,
I just have to read.
I'm missing somebody. I'm missing. What is his name? I just had him. What's the guy named do the show with Ocho Cinco? I Am an Athlete.
Oh,
Brian Marshall.
Brian Marshall.
Brandon
Marshall.
My bad.
One of my
My bad.
favorite players too. I feel like they didn't do him right in a couple of stops. They didn't do him right.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall. Yeah, that was the last guy I was going to say, Brandon Marshall. So, well, like I said, we'll find out exactly what it is. The person I think that's going to give us the truth on this whole situation is, to me, is Deion Sanders. That's the person I feel as though that'll give us the truth on this whole situation. So I'll just wait for Deion to report it.
But
Why do you feel Deion, who's coaching his college team, would give us the right information?
Because I know he could get a one-on-one interview with AB, and being the fact that he has a podcast, he will probably let AB speak his mind and tell how he really felt.
AB's not going to speak his mind until after this is settled legally.
But
yeah, I know that. So that's probably going to be a while.
But just not that. Brandon Marshall might tell AB come on the show.
Yeah, but it may happen. We'll find out. Like I said,
he'll be on all the smoke next week.
Yeah,
you'll look up. He'll be on all the smoke. They always got some tea to get involved in.
So it's coming.
Yeah. So
maybe he could go. Maybe he could go talk to Kwame. Be on Kwame's podcast.
No.
He can go sit down with Kwame Brown.
Since we talking about trash.
Since they Brown and Brown, same last name. Maybe they cousins.
You almost gave me the wrong.
Just saying.
Let's since we talking about trash, let's get to the TAP round. What you got for TAP?
I got the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, the way you played, and you cost them, the Falcons, the game. You got attacked you ran for a first down. And you got up like you did something all season, and you had not done nothing. So you got into another player's face and said something to that player. So the Atlanta Falcons. And we lost the game. And better yet, we out of the playoffs. So
Playoffs?
Ding, ding, ding.
Playoffs?
Money.
Anyway, Sharon, you ready?
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
So my trash ass players remain the same from last week because I haven't seen any improvement in my Lakers. So they on my trash ass player list until they can improve.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Zar, what you got, Zar?
I got a couple. I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns. I just want to full circle back from when I'm not saying I was the only one, but a lot of people, they were talking about it yesterday. That was kind of the cute Super Bowl pick for a lot of people, because Kansas City went 2 in a row. They lost. People were jumping on that Cleveland bandwagon. They beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. Pittsburgh was 11-0. And they went to Pittsburgh and won that game. And what I've been saying, every time Cleveland's expected to do something, they don't do shit. They choke. They fail to reach the situation. So they're eliminated from the playoffs. They did exactly your favorite coach. They are who we thought they were, or at least who I thought they were. And then the New York Giants. I mean, talk about a football team that has completely fell apart, fired their offensive coordinator. I mean, they're getting blown out by everybody. The Eagles. I mean, they let the Bears blow them out like the Bears was a juggernaut. 34-3. Like, I mean, it's one thing to rebuild, but falling apart, it's just pathetic, in my opinion. And they're talking about bringing the coach back, so, and the quarterback. So those are my two trash ass players.
Wait a minute, what team was that, Zara?
The New York Giants.
Yeah, I did hear that they were talking about bringing that coach and quarterback back. What's his name? Jones or something?
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah. I thought I was dreaming when I heard it. I couldn't believe it.
Who, are you ready?
Yeah. So let's see here. Come on the screen. I'll piggyback off of what Czar just said with Joe Judge. Joe Judge came out after the loss, shooting bullets with blanks. I think he had an Uzi submachine gun, and I don't know much about guns. I'm from Brooklyn, but it was unbelievable. He was just on a tirade, man, talking about, you know, guys want to come back from last year, free agents to the Giants, and they want to come back to his team, and he, you know, guys, they not fishing and they not golfing, and we got, fans, if you want to come after me, I mean, this guy was, he was acting like King Kong, and he should be acting like a pussyfoot. I mean, it was just amazing to hear this guy come out in the media. It was reprehensible, man. Oh man, and the Mariners talking about bringing him back, man. So Joe Judge, man, woo, Lord have mercy. Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard to a lesser degree. Now these two clowns are, neither one of them really. Well, Kirk Herbstreit didn't even make the NFL. Okay, Desmond Howard, if memory serves you, I think he might have played good in one Super Bowl, but for the most part, I don't think he really had a good NFL career. But that being said, both were very good in college, and they seem to think that these young men don't have the ability, or if they opt out, that makes them soft. No, that doesn't make them soft. Brian Kelly went and got his money and couldn't even finish the season. Okay. At least the Alabama coach, the defensive coordinator, I believe, has lived up to his agreement and is going to stay through the championship game and represent Alabama the way they should. To allow these coaches not to fulfill their requirement or their contracts until the end of the season is absurd. But yet you want these kids who you can't compare coaching with playing. One injury to a player, the Dallas Cowboy a couple of years ago, who I believe he was on Notre Dame, tore up his knee before Jalen Smith, and was never the same again. I think he got picked up by Green Bay, but I'm not even sure he got.
No. He played for the New York Giants now. He's in New York City, living next to you.
Oh, but didn't Green Bay pick him up after he got cut by the Cowboys?
And he got cut by Green Bay, and now he got cut by you.
Okay, all right. I didn't even know he got picked up by Giants, because Giants ain't got no players according to them. But anyway, that being said, so his whole career was, I wouldn't say it's ruined, but he doesn't have that generational money that he could have made. So, the fact that Kirk Herbstreit, I'm saying all of this nonsense about the players shouldn't opt out. No, that's a mechanism that, in fact, I'm not going to be mad when players opt out who do play in the championship game. That's a choice they're going to have to make. And it's not a choice that they should be receiving peer pressure from the alumni or the people or the boosters in the school or anybody. That's a personal choice. If you want to play in the game, you play in the game. These other bowl games have been rendered, useless, but we had a couple of that was okay. But if they do get 12 teams, and that, I guess that will put some more teeth into these bowl games. But Kirk Herbstreit, man, are you crazy, man? Some of these kids are coming from poor neighborhoods, from the projects, man. This is their only way out. And yeah, you could work hard like some people, but this is generational money. This is life-changing money. Okay? So they're entitled to that. In college football, you have to play 3 years, your graduating class, then you can be drafted. In the NBA right now, it's 1 year. They're playing by the rules and saying that, oh, you should get a certain experience and you should be able to bond with your teachers. Well, like they said in the NBA, in college for basketball, all you got to do is go get a passing 2.0 in the first semester, and most of them don't even go back to school who are one and done. In football, you got to stay 3 years. So I think it would be hard to stay around for 3 years and not create any sort of relationships. I don't know if you want to say friendships, because a lot of times people know you're going to make the NFL. They'll be your friend. They'll want to be your agent. They'll want to do a lot of different things so they can be one of those hang-ons. So, man, Kirk Herbstreit, and to a lesser degree, Desmond Howard, man, you guys, wow. So I guess my time is up. So next.
Yeah, I'm on the TAP. I'm definitely going to have to put a couple teams in there. You know, I felt as though Jacksonville, they need to play this week. Cleveland, they need to play this week. Minnesota, they need to play this week. Like the Giants was another one that they need to play this week, even though that game was a win-win for them. But they still didn't need to play this week. The only thing that I'm mad about with the Giants is why is Glennon your starting quarterback? You made a trade to go get Jake Form, which is, again, one of y'all backdoor illegal NFL trades that y'all doing now. You know, let me get this player off your practice squad. Winky, winky. Slide, slide, you know.
No, but hold on. When you're on the practice squad, don't you you could just claim somebody off the practice squad, no?
Yeah. That's winky, winky. Slide, slide.
Because he's not making the regular salary when you're on the practice squad. That's one salary. Then once you get on the regular,
winky, winky, slide, slide. Look at me when I say it, Google. Slide, slide. All right. Don't act like we don't know. And the NBA ain't gonna be the only ones trading with cash. All right. Don't you think the NFL ain't been thinking about it? All right. All I'm gonna say is, you went to go get this man. You need to know, is he possibly going to be a guy that's going to battle the Daniel Jones for a starting position? Or is he possibly going to be a good backup for you? He ain't costing you no real money. It was a winky, winky. Slide.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
He was talking a lot of nonsense, so I didn't hear what he said.
Because he did say, they did ask him about, he said, well, it's like going in there, taking a test, and you never study.
All right, what you got to say, Ron?
Pop quiz. They call it a pop quiz.
They Jake Form, well, I look at it, who brings the more energy to the team? That's who they put in there.
Well, he came from a garbage place, though.
I mean, I just saying.
Georgia. You talking about Georgia? Is that talking about King Czar?
Hey, you said it, not me.
Oh, I'm just asking.
You said, no, you mean Czar. He said it, not me.
Czar,
no, I'm asking you.
I was talking about Buffalo, see?
Okay.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay. But anyway.
Boy, y'all ain't right. Yeah, just letting y'all know y'all ain't right.
Y'all too.
Yeah, y'all two ain't right, boy.
But anyway, I feel like if you bring some kind of energy to the team, the Mike Glennon, we know what he all about, nothing. So that might be the reason why they got Jake Form. To see, can he bring some kind of energy to the team?
Yeah. I got what you're saying, Ryan, but they didn't play him.
Hey.
They didn't play him. They played Glennon. And then I'm sitting here to myself, you know what's the best of Glennon. You've seen the best of Glennon.
Right.
Put the kid in and just see what he could do. No matter what he does, it doesn't cost you a lot of money. It's not going to kill you. It's not to a point where, oh man, if he does real good, then what we going to do? We're going to have a QB controversy. No, you may get to trade him and get like a 3rd round pick. Or if he does real good, you may get to trade him. I ain't gonna say a 3rd, but you may get to trade him and get a draft pick. All right. You know, you may get another, backdoor trade. Winky, winky, slide. You know what I mean? Winky, winky, slide. You never know what may happen. But all I know is you need to know what you're getting out of this kid, Jake Farm. For all of that, you shouldn't have went and got him. That's the reason why I was that mad at that situation. That was my main reason for being mad at that. But my other trash player is somebody last week had this guy as the MVP, but he went out there and threw 3 interceptions. And you know what the rule is, Ron? Even if you win the game, 3 turnovers, you trash.
Man, call it. I want to see somebody's face.
You trash.
Say his name. Say his name, Dennis. Say his name.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen. You see how ashy my knuckles is? That's for me being in Buffalo catching those interceptions.
You know what?
Josh Allen. Yeah, I should have put some lotion on before I started this show.
You so should have.
my knuckles is trash.
You can't talk about Kevin Durant no more in Ashy. You can't talk about it no more.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
It look like somebody threw baby powder at your elbows.
KD's chubby brother.
But
let's talk about these certified players. Go ahead, Ryan.
I got what people don't know. R.I.P. Dan Reeves. He died.
Yep.
And he was a great coach. Just not for the Falcons, for the Broncos too.
And the Giants.
And the Giants. So R.I.P. Dan Reeves. And Kobe Smart, Georgia Bulldog head coach, did not let the team pour Gatorade on him. And he got to the point, he was like, no, we don't need to celebrate right now. We need to try and get that other game against Alabama. Sports guru.
Uh-oh.
I told you, I got you. Yeah. And I got Warwick Dunn. If anybody know anything about Warwick Dunn, he got into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame this weekend.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, Sharon.
Okay. So we're talking about certified players. I'm going to start with Joe Burrow. Because I feel like he deserves it. As a Steelers fan and a Bengals hater, it's a big deal for me to say that. Further proof that I don't let my fandom interfere when we're talking about these players. And Joe Burrow showed up and showed out, showed his pedigree in the face of all the naysayers that said he's not franchise level yet. So shout out to Joe Burrow. I also want to give a shout out to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, the same wide receiver when he was drafted, and everybody said he couldn't hold on to nothing. And yeah, they shouldn't have drafted him. They should have drafted somebody for the O-line. Shout out to Jamar Chase because he let them know that the Bengals made a good decision and drafted him. I'm not going to say that the people who said to draft Penei Sewell were stupid or wrong or anything. I understand why they said what they said, but you got Joe Burrow of LSU and his number one receiver. You got the opportunity to give him the one player you know he can connect with and already has chemistry with that can really ball. You would have to be crazy to pass that up. Now, if I had some other quarterback that didn't go to LSU that was probably good, and I had the opportunity with an O-line like I had to draft an O-lineman over Jamar Chase, then I probably would have done that. But in this particular situation, given the circumstances, they made a smart decision. The Bengals are not known for making smart decisions, so I have to give a shout out to them. They've played this correctly. So, big ups to the Bengals for that. Also want to give a shout out, as I try to remember to do this more often, to Joe Mixon. I've always been a Joe Mixon fan in his corner ever since the video came out, because I just feel like that man was given a bad rap. We were talking earlier about players being ridiculed by the NFL and by fans and by media and all that, and mistreated. He's one of them, because he's not a monster. And I always said that. So shout out to him. All right. Another one, I'm going to give a shout out to my MSU Spartans for winning the Peach Bowl. Everybody wants to laugh at the bowl games now, like the bowl games don't mean anything, but I'm proud of my Spartans. We've got Coach Mel Tucker in his second season, turned around a program that was supposed to be dead last in the Big Ten, and they're not. And they won their bowl game. They only lost 2 games this season. And I mean, a hell of a season. The way that they have been balling, he has single-handedly turned this entire organization around. So, and won Coach of the Year and some other accolades. So, Mel Tucker, Spartan football, certified players of the week. I think that's it. If I think of some more, I'll tell you. But I think that's all I got right now.
Okay. All right. What you got, Zar?
She took my Bengals, so I'm gonna take your team, Tanny Time and the Titans.
Damn.
So they lost Derrick Henry.
I forgot yesterday.
About half a season ago, and these dudes, kept afloat. As soon as he got hurt, they beat Buffalo, they beat Kansas City. They went on a little streak. Then they did hit a little hurdle where they lost a couple games. But just to play almost half the season without arguably the best running back and arguably the heart of your team, and to win that division, and the coach was coming on them, like Jonathan Taylor, my MVP, was closing in on them. And, they go out there, and Miami's the hottest team in the NFL. And they blow them boys out 34-3. We talked about Miami, they didn't really beat nobody but Baltimore at the time. But 34-3, Miami's defense has been playing lights out. Derrick Henry still ain't back yet. So I'm giving them boys Vrabel, Tanny, the defense stepped up, and I'm giving the Titans some love for, keeping it together without arguably the best running back in the NFL. So I'm giving them props, and he should be returning to practice this week. They're going to be scary in the playoffs. Look out for the Titans. And then shout out, man, I got to go here. I don't like keeping it. I like when other people talk about my teams. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, man. This dude, I don't know if y'all seen what this man did this week. This dude on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, talk about the new year, hit 2 back-to-back game winners at the buzzer. People laughed at us giving that man $82 million. Said it was the worst contract of free agency. All the experts. He's done. He's 31, 32 year, whatever. The Spurs, his last season, they were ousting him that, he wasn't playing, they were just talking all this mess, man. And yeah, man, that dude is amazing. He's having a hell of a season. I'm a Bulls fan, but I had to shout out just for the just the clutchness that he's had. We won 8 in a row. Shout out to the whole team in general. We got through the little COVID stuff, knock on wood. Hopefully, we can maintain that. A lot of teams is going through that. I mean, shit, all sports in general. But yeah, shout out to Double D, man. South Central on the house. DeMar DeRozan, man. Definitely, in my opinion, still not giving him the proper love for the MVP. I've seen LeBron James higher on the list, and no knock, LeBron's playing phenomenal. But the team is the 8th seed and they're 500. Same shit I had arguing about Steph last year. He's not an MVP candidate. You can't be an MVP candidate at 19 and 19. I don't care what you're doing. DeMar DeRozan, I have Curry, I have Durant, Curry, and DeMar as my top 3 candidates. And that's my certified.
Guru, let's do it, Guru.
Okay. Let me echo a little bit, not totally, but I got to give this kid Jamar Chase some love, because I believe he broke the rookie record for most yards in a game. I think at 266 yards. So that's outstanding. I'm not sure. I think he has 1,400 and change for the year. I'm not sure if that's a rookie record. It may be a rookie record as well. I think I read that as well, but I'm not certain about that. So I got to give him a lot of credit. The thing about him that's interesting, because last year he didn't play at LSU. He sat out for COVID reasons, which, some people questioned, what he was doing in terms of sitting out. But that goes back to my whole point about Kirk Herbstreit. The man had the right to make that decision. And then, obviously it didn't hurt his draft choice status too much. Obviously, the Sewell kid, there was a big question whether, Cincinnati should draft him or go with somebody who the quarterback was more familiar with. And obviously, at this point, you can't say that they made the wrong decision. I mean, the bottom line is Zach Taylor. He was on the hot seat as well. The man was 6'25" okay. And I know some, our colleagues here feel he should be, the coach of the year. He certainly should get votes, and there's so many people. Tomlin, I mean, once again, and the Steelers to me are trash. Big Ben is trash. I mean, he's a bum at this point. Okay. One of the things that they talked a lot about, which I'm going to be fair about, is that who was the best play out of that draft? Quarterback wise, was it Big Ben? Was it Eli, or was it Phillip Rivers? I think it was Big Ben, because Eli basically, other than the 2 Super Bowls, they made sure Eli ended on that winning streak, because if he would have lost, he would have been under 500 for his career. And and a lot of people felt that might keep him out of the Hall of Fame. So the Giants made sure once he got that, they wanted to make sure he didn't get back in there again. So, and that's fact. But like I said, as far as, Big Ben, Kobe Bryant, a lot of people always bring up the rape situation, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and I never was a big Kobe fan. I never liked him, but I felt for his family and, especially his mother and father when he passed away. But what I would say is nobody ever brings up Big Ben. Nobody brings it up. But then today, the argument was it happened early in his career, and he has stayed out of trouble since then, and he's got a family and everything. Okay, I guess that's a fair argument, but that's just something, But like I said, I do feel he's first, Eli second, and Phillip, no championships. And although he played with a torn ACL, did a lot of great things, he's got to be third. And so I do give him his respect as far as that's concerned. And like I said, as far as, we'll see. Kingsbury was on a hot seat, still may be on a hot seat, and we'll see what he does, in the playoffs. If he doesn't, I could see, them going in a different direction, even though he basically, probably didn't deserve that job in the first place, but, has had an up and down. You can say he did some good things, he's done some bad things, but can he get him over the hump? That's going to be the next question for him. So as far as, like I said, as far as Zach is concerned, good job, other candidates. Let's see what you do now, because like I said, your record was 6-25-1. So, a lot of people thought he was an idiot. And I think still that display that they put on at the end of that game, that was idiot coaching. It goes back to the Bill Belichick thing where everybody thinks no matter what he does. In the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick screwed up when Russell Wilson and them was on near the goal line, and he didn't use his timeouts. It was just that Russell did a little Zach Wilson when he didn't use his brain and use his football savvy, and he threw that dumb pass, or the Patriots would have lost that game. And in this situation, they got to retreat twice, and he still made the same mistake like an idiot. Just like the kid Brandon Staley from I guess what do they call it, L.A., and he did the same thing. Talk about, I'll do it again. Well, you keep doing it again. The reason why the Ravens are not in the playoffs because that Harbaugh kept doing it again. So y'all keep on going by numbers and not the feel of the game. And this is why all these teams are going to be watching instead of playing. Next.
Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, I forgot that when we do these on Talk Curious Tuesday, that Monday night games are included in our list. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Right. I forgot all about that. So I would be remiss if I don't talk about my Steelers for just a moment on my certified players list, because most people didn't have us winning that game last night, but we pulled it out. So we won our game. Shout out to my Steelers. It's, by all accounts, it's going to be Big Ben's last home game at Heinz Field. And he was able to go out with a win at Heinz Field. He has one of the highest home win percentages at home of any quarterback ever. And he's 8-0 on Monday Night Football at home. Never lost a Monday Night Football game at home. Before that game, I want to add to my list other certified players like TJ Watt, who should be the Defensive Player of the Year. He got 4 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and 5 quarterback hits in the game. Very instrumental in the outcome of the game. Then we have Naji Harris, who is a rookie running back for the Steelers, in case you all haven't heard of him. And he had 28 rushing attempts for 188 yards and 1 touchdown. It came out today that he was told to hold on to the ball and just fall down on that play. But he saw an opening and he said, hell no, I'm going to take this to the house. And so he ran it on in for a touchdown. So there we go. And Najee was running like a beast yesterday. So I'm very proud of my rookie running back. And I also believe that we made the right decision in drafting him. So Ben ends his career, if he is going to retire. He's 5th all-time in wins, 5th in pass yards, and 8th in passing touchdowns, which is not too shabby. And he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So it was just really good to see his final home game, if it is his final home game, and the way the fans reacted, the way the players reacted, the way the players wanted to win it for him. And yeah, so Big Ben Roethlisberger is on my certified players. The whole team is on my certified players, and especially Coach Mike Tomlin is on my certified player list. He will finish out the season again as a winner with a winning season, whether he makes the playoffs or not. A lot of people want to say, oh, it don't matter. Oh, why be happy about mediocre, just never having a losing season if you don't make the playoffs? Well, y'all can say that. It sounds nice. Sounds nice when you're arguing shit in a sports group. But when it comes to longevity and when it comes to legacy in football, that does matter. So it may not matter to y'all, but it matters to me, especially as a Steelers fan. So shout out to those Steelers for yesterday. Thank you.
Certified players. I think I'm going to get the first one to the Arizona Cardinals. Way to bounce yourselves back by doing what y'all do. The second one I got to give out, since Guru ain't want to say his name, he didn't want to give this guy's acknowledgement because he got mad at him because last week he put up 525 yards and 4 touchdowns. This week he played the #1 team in the AFC, put up 400 yards on them. But I know that wasn't enough for you. But you also said right here on this same show, Guru said you better make the playoffs. And he went and he smoked the cigar and he danced to you, baby. That's what he did. He smoked that cigar and he danced to you, baby. And I remember a guy on this show named Guru. He said, if I'm wrong, I got to eat crow. I'm going to go get you some crow. It's time for you to eat, good brother. I'm noticing, good brother. It's time for you to eat.
Oh, so you get
said he
well,
got
no,
what the playoffs.
Okay, I just want to understand when you make your little sneaky videos. When
I didn't make that video.
No.
I didn't make that video.
I don't. Am I interrupting? I just want to show. Am I interrupting you? I don't want to interrupt anybody.
No, you can interrupt me. I don't care who interrupt me.
Okay, because
I'm different. I'm from North Philly, so a lot different. Okay.
Oh, you're not from Southeast Philly. Okay.
So yeah, I didn't give Burrow no credit. Yes, I gave the wide receiver all the love. And the guy couldn't even hand off the ball after he got his knee hurt. My knee hurting, and like I said, they did that stupid twice going on 4th down. Obviously, they were told to do that. So that's just stupidity. But yeah, he made the playoffs. Not only he made the playoffs, the team. And I would have thought that Kansas City would have won. Obviously, Spagnuolo calls I guess what it was, a cover 2, with 4th and 3rd and 27 or whatever the hell it was. But hey, man, they played, they won. Now let's go see y'all win a first round playoff game since y'all in the playoffs now. Keep it going, fellas. Keep it going.
Guru, I got a question for you. I got a question.
Sir.
You see something up there or something? Because I seen you giving love to Jamar Chase like he throw passes to himself. So I'm looking to see who was he playing against that he throw passes to himself.
Why you want to give all the love to Joe Burrow, but you don't want to give love to the stud wide receiver? Can you please answer that one?
I was giving love to Joe because, first of all, I gave love to the whole team. Let me get that.
Well, he couldn't even finish the game. Remember, he couldn't even finish the game. He limped out the game like a little baby.
Guru, if you worried about 2 plays and it went to a field goal, Guru, if that's what you want to write about, hey, that's up to you. But when I was on this show, I was on the show with a guy from New York City that had integrity and told me that when he's wrong, he eat crow. Now, is that the same guy I see right here with me? Or I need to go call him up?
Well, all I know is you made a cockamamie video.
I didn't make the video.
Yes, you made the
I didn't. Who
made the video?
The guy that made the videos in the comments. His name is Blaze Thunder. He shows his face in the video. Obviously, you haven't watched the full video.
I watched the whole video.
And he shows his face in the video. He made 2 videos about you.
How does he make videos on your show with your copyright?
Easy. Anybody can go make clips of a video on the show. I can make clips off First Take. If they gonna sue me, then sue me. It just is what it is.
You just grab it.
It's gonna cost you more when you take me to court.
Yeah, well, don't just say sue me, because you ain't gonna be able to beat them in no court, big boy. But okay, I got
it's gonna cost them more money in court than it would if they just come to see me. I'm telling you that.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
That's
a lie. That's a lie. They got,
you know what,
first,
Guru?
They got a legal department. They got a legal department. They got a legal department. So to them, it don't mean nothing. If they want to go after you, they go after you.
Wait. I got a surprise for you.
Go ahead.
Do you like surprises?
Just go ahead.
I'm just asking, do you like surprises?
Depends on what it is.
Okay, well, give me a couple seconds. Just a couple seconds, that's all.
You know, play this stupid video again?
No. There's your guy. That's Blaze.
Oh, there he is. What's up, boy?
Okay, so I didn't know that he was part of this production agency that you have.
Listen,
it's Thunderblade Production.
You got your own production agency. You know, I hope he gets some of that 20 cents you get for every video that you make. Pay the man, because he got a lot of creativity, that's for sure, and he obviously he got a lot of time on his hand too. Okay,
I must admit, he's
Don't
better
take
than
that
me.
long.
He's better than me at the TikTok videos. I'm
Better
gonna have
than
to
me
admit it.
too.
He's better than me.
Me too.
And don't worry, Guru. We got the next video coming in 2 weeks. You said it right now. Bengals win that playoff game, get out the first round. We got you, baby.
Okay, so let me. Okay, nice comeback, young man. Good to meet you. God bless you. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and all that good stuff.
971 yards in 2 games, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. When the playoffs are on the line, you got to give him some love. You got to give him some love.
He played his ass off. Can't take that away from him, bro. And I'm not trying to take it away from him. I just said do it. Do it, because the week before, as you know, since you're a big sports fan and king of the damn TikTok videos, basically he did that against 4th and 5th and 6th string defensive backs. So now you went out there and you did it against Kansas City, who had a pretty good front. And hey, you got to give him his credit, no question about it. But as the great Denny Green, Denny Green, right? Yeah, I ain't crowning his ass, okay? Because I got people on First Take and different people saying, oh, they could go to the Super Bowl. Well, God damn it, I want to see this shit. I want to see this. I want to see this, because if he go to the Super Bowl and win this year, I'll give you I'll give you $250 for production on your next video.
There we go, baby.
That?
The millions.
How about putting your money where your mouth
right now
is?
heard that.
I got $250 for your next video, your production, because that's more than you get from Skippy.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, you hearing that, Secretary? You hearing that? Write that down. Oh yeah,
that's right. DH Groove, email address dhgroove0809@gmail, baby. And you got me on Messenger. Believe me, when I say something, I stand by it. There's no ifs or buts about it. And quite frankly, I'm always happy to help out brothers who are trying to do good, positive things, because you do good work. I just didn't know this sorry ass bleep didn't pay you. Okay, we need to pay you for your production. That's bullshit.
I'm good.
Okay?
Hearing you give a little bit of credit after what you said, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me, baby.
Hey man, I do more than credit, man. I do more than credit. I support people. I support people who do good things, because that's how it grows. That's how you become famous. If you're good at something, as I told somebody last week, if you're good at something or if you love something, it will grow. It will continue to get better. So a brother like you that's good at this stuff, you keep doing your thing. You not only this $250 that I'm pledging, if sorry ass Joe Burrow gets to the Super Bowl, of course, if he does, then guess what? There's gonna be somebody else that's gonna say 1,000 next time, and there's somebody else that's gonna say 5,000 next time, because you do good work.
I think you got the Ohio quarterbacks wrong. I think you're thinking of Baker Mayfield, not Joe Burrow, for the sorry ass quarterback in Ohio.
Well, Baker cost himself money, as we know. Yeah. But you know what? I blame a lot of that on Stefanski, because he kept playing him. And at some point, you got to say to yourself, he's hurting himself, not helping himself. And that's exactly what he did. Baker took himself out of any big-time contracts, because he played so terribly. And so he didn't help him as a coach, although I think he thought it would be more of a smack in the face to take him out and bench him. But as we know, Case Keenum and the third string guy, Mullins, shit, they had a better chance of winning the game, and almost did, more so than Baker.
Yeah. All right, well, I just want to pop in real quick, let you know I made the video, let you know I've been watching you guys. I'm back, and I'm excited. It feels good to be back. I was going to say one more thing before I head out. Georgia Bulldogs is going to win the national championship. That's for you, Ron, and I really mean that. It's going to happen. And, trash-ass player, FedEx Field, and certified player, duct tape and zip ties for keeping it together. I'll see you guys. I'll be in the comments. I'll be in the comments.
Nice seeing you, brother.
Good seeing you, Blaze.
Go ahead, Ron. What you was going to say, Ron?
Dennis, I'll be bringing the hot sauce.
The hot sauce. Oh no, he did it then. Yeah, he thought I made the video. I didn't make the video. Anybody can make a video. I'm just telling you.
Like I said, copyright. You say that, it don't matter. oh, it matters who they sue. So believe that.
Sue me, baby. Don't matter. But I like to say, for my last certified plan, let's get on the rounds questions. I'm gonna give it to my man Trey Young. Trey Young was out there balling the other day, even though they got a loss. He put up 56 points, his career high. So I'm gonna have to give him some love on that one.
I got one more. I got one more.
Oh, okay.
I got one more. I'm sorry. I forgot about this until Blaze mentioned your quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and the whole debacle at FedEx Field.
No.
First of all, shout out to him for the game win, but also I don't know if this is real or not, but supposedly he wrote this letter about the FedEx Field and how dangerous it was and the fact that people got hurt. So it looked like it was real to me. So if it's real, and I think it is too, Guru, shout out to Jalen Hurts for.
They got people, not to cut you off, but some people are trashing his letter, which is reprehensible. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you see that all the time. People, this guy really gave a heartfelt letter. He was really concerned about the people who fell when people got injured. The thing fell right on the head and the shoulder of the camera guy that was sitting there. And then people fell off the side of the doggone stands. And it almost hit your quarterback. And he could have seriously been injured and out of play and missing millions of dollars. That's not cool. So, yeah, I do want to mention that and mention the Eagles and how they handled their business and did what they were supposed to do, like I predicted they would.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's do it, Ryan.
Should Cam Newton retire from the NFL? Guru.
What's his name? Darnold got in there last week and was terrible. I haven't liked the way that Matt Rule has used Cam and has, treated Cam since he came back. Has Cam played great? No, he hasn't. But I do think it's very difficult to pick up an offense in 1 week the way that they asked Cam to do it. So I'm not really sure whether he should retire or not. It depends on, what's in his heart. If he feels that he can really get back out there, learn the offense, and get the opportunity. You know what? I would say this. If he gets the opportunity and somebody wants to give him a job, no, he shouldn't retire. No. If he could come to training camp and if the Panthers, because to me, Sam Darnold is trash. He always did. And this is the same clown that saw ghosts, the same clown that was terrible with you guys. They had people in New York for months and months arguing, debating that he was, don't draft, the kid, Zach Wilson from BYU, that, we should keep Sam and we should take that draft pick and get a defensive player, so on and so forth. You could not, that was Bob LaGreca on ESPN radio, comes on the Michael K show, or he had to eat a little crow today because that was one of the things they were asking him. You were so adamant last year about Sam Darnold being his quarterback. And so, no, I would say he still runs the ball very good. Like I said, a couple of games he played uneven. First game he played really good. He played a good game against Washington, against Heineke. Just kind of came up short that game on a 4th down play where, he probably didn't even know what the play was. So, I think he's been uneven so much. Still like his ability to scramble. Like I said, if he can get a job, no, I don't feel he should retire. That's my answer.
What do you think, Sean?
First, let me. Is it okay if I read a couple of these comments because I asked in the comment?
Yeah.
Yuri said Cam is done as a starter. Ace said Deuces Cam, it's been real. Juke Ellington said, no, give him a full opportunity and don't derail him when he's getting it together. And in parentheses, he put Patriots. He said also, if Nathan Peterman can keep a job in the NFL, Cam shouldn't have to retire. Okay.
Amen.
So those are the comments. So I'm in agreement with Guru and Juke. I don't believe that he needs to retire. I don't believe that he's trash like everybody's saying. I see a lot of things wrong with Matt Rule down at Carolina. I don't put all of this on Cam. And then you got to remember, this is a player that went from not playing at all, just sitting, at home in his living room and spending time with his kids. Yeah, he worked out every day, but he wasn't studying anybody's playbook in the offseason like certain other quarterbacks were able to do before they started with their new teams, who shall remain nameless, because I think people forgot that happened that summer before he started at that new team. But anyway, I believe that Cam still is a starting quarterback in the NFL. I just feel like he has not been put in the right situation with the right coach and the right scheme. It would have, if all this COVID stuff hadn't happened, who knows what would have happened really with Cam and New England? Who really knows? And
What?
if for people who want to say that COVID has no factor in it, you're lying to yourself. You just got some Cam hate that you just don't want to admit. So that's how I feel about it, honestly.
I'm gonna say one thing. When they talked about should the owner fire what's his name? The head coach, Matt Rule?
Matt
Rule.
Rule.
Matt Rule, right? After 2 seasons. I like it just 2 seasons.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say about that. You rarely hear me talk about black and white issues, racial issues on here. I don't usually bring it up. We just sometimes fall off into it. But how many black coaches have you seen are one and done or two and done and not given a fair shot? Really?
You're right.
I mean, it happens all the time.
Right.
That's one. Matt Rule, from what I understand, came from college and didn't really have any NFL coaching experience, from what I understand. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
He was an assistant coach with the NFL, but he never had any head coaching experience.
Okay. Thank you, Guru. So I questioned his play calling and decision making all season before Cam got there, even in his wins. So, I never felt him. So, if they were to let him go, it is what it is. It's happened to other coaches. Why not him?
Right. Okay. What do you think, Joe?
No, I mean, he don't have to retire. I mean, retiring is something if he chooses he wants to do so. I mean, Cam is probably better than every backup quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he's better than some starters. I mean, he's still better than Darnold. So on his own team, they put Darnold back in, and look what they did. They were trash. So I think he needs to go do whether a starter or backup. I don't mind him being a backup. I would go to a team that runs a system like him, that where his strengths, like a la Baltimore, a la Huntley, backing up Lamar. If he can go somewhere where, because the system matters, that New England, it didn't fit, they were getting it together, and then, Belichick and the great hope came, and then that derailed, that situation. But no, definitely Cam don't need to retire. I mean, he's better than a bunch of quarterbacks that's 32 teams in the NFL, and he's better than, if not all backups, majority, and he's still better than some starters. He's got to go to the right team, right fit, the right, strategy, the right, everything's, it matters. It makes a big difference, but no.
What do you think, Dennis?
I just want the right team to believe in him. That's all. That's it.
Exactly.
All right. My next question. Where do you rank John Madden as a head coach? Sharon.
Come back to me. I got to think about it a little more.
Guru.
Well, Sean, who's not here tonight, who is really starting to surprise me with his knowledge. I got to give that young man a lot of credit. He brought up Madden last week, and I kind of poo-pooed him. Now, he was right and I was right to a certain degree, but I certainly wasn't as right as I thought I was. Now, the issue with Madden is that I believe he only coached like 9 years. So
it was 10. It was 10, Guru. It was 10.
10 years.
Mhm.
Okay. Fine. That's when you look at all the great coaches, most of them, this is not playing. Most great coaches, 20, 30, some more than that. That's the thing about coaching, where you can't compare coaches with players because their longevity is infinite almost. Bill Belichick is 70, I believe it's like 70 years old now. He talk about he going to coach through 150. I mean, I'm just trying to live to 70. My black ass just trying to live to 70. Bill Belichick, he talk about he gonna coach to you about 150. So, Madden, I think because like when everybody talks about his greatness, they take that video game, which I'm not really a video type guy. My last video game was Miss Pac-Man and Atari. So I just never got into video games. I mean, that's my extent of it. I just never was my thing. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the what he has done for those people who like that kind of stuff. It's amazing. I mean, the ratings and all that kind of stuff. So when you look at Madden, you got to take all of this into consideration. It's all encompassing. So it's not just like, it's not one thing. You just can't look at his coaching. Although the one thing that Sean did say, he's and I don't know if he said this or he didn't say it, but by doing my research, his winning percentage is one of the highest winning percentages in the history of the game. I think it's number one. It's like seven and change. So, for the short time that he did coach, he was epic. Now I don't know if he had one championship or two. That makes a big difference. I'm not sure if he had. So he only had one. So see, one in 10 years. That to say that he was an all-time greatest coach, I can't put him in the top 5. I can't even really say he's in the top 10, to be honest with you, honestly. But I can say he's definitely in the top 20. Only because of the lack of longevity. Now, if you're asking me what his impact on the game was, then we're talking a little bit different. His impact is higher than his coaching. You follow what I'm saying? His impact is enormous. And like I said, I don't make fun of people because that's what they the Madden 2K, whatever the hell it's called. I mean, that's what people do. They love that. That keeps, just like basketball kept me out of trouble. That keeps kids out of trouble. That's a distraction. That's a good thing. People, they got gamers who go all over the country and play for money. So anything you can do that's productive is a beautiful thing. So I don't take that away from the man. And he was loved too. Look at the outcry of love. There's players that, unlike Aryans, people they don't really like him. He was loved. So Aryans, people don't like him. They hate him. They despise him. And here you have a coach that was beloved. Got to give that man a lot of credit. May he rest in peace. I'm out.
Czar.
Okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm sorry. Okay. I agree with Guru. I like to talk about how I agree first. And that yes, he only coached for 10 years, so that will impact his ranking. But I also look at what he did in those 10 years. And it's phenomenal what he did in 10 years, 10 seasons. Yes, he had the highest win percentage of coaches that actually coached 100 games or more. Okay. But all time, he's number 2. That's amongst all coaches, no matter how many coaches. He's still number 2. No matter how many games they've coached, right? So that's phenomenal. And out of those 10 seasons, he made the playoff 8 times, 8 seasons out of 10, and went to the championship game, the AFC championship game, 7 times out of those 10 years.
Wow.
The only reason why he stopped coaching is because of his ulcers.
Health
That's
reasons.
it. His ulcers. He had ulcers. He cared so much. He was so this and that and really all over the game so much. He couldn't take it anymore. He just couldn't take it. He just said, I can't do this anymore. He felt like he was gonna die. He'd be dead on the on the field. And so he had to make a decision to leave coaching. But do you all realize that the team that he put together, now I'm coming to y'all on some Mark Jackson stuff. The team he literally did put together won 2 Super Bowls after that under Coach Flores. That's whose name I couldn't remember who the coach was, and I wanted to look that up. That's why I wasn't ready to go.
Let me ask you a question. Did they win those Super Bowls directly after he left the next 2
Right.
years? So they won back to back. He won back to back.
No,
They weren't back to back, but they were soon after he got out of the league in the early 80s because he left.
Was it the next year or what was it? Do you
when
know,
did he
Zar?
retire?
I don't know the exact year, but I'm saying it was pretty close to when he left, and it involved players that he actually put together on the team. I know that
the last Super Bowl he won was against the Philadelphia Eagles, 1980. And I think he must have retired after that.
No, wait. John Madden retired in 1978. Flores won in 80 and 83.
Oh, no,
that's it. Thank you. So it was right after. Okay. And you got to remember, players back then didn't go running team to team. It wasn't, free agency and all that foolishness. You usually stayed on a team 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years at a time. You weren't traded all around from here to here if you were a great player. So I saw this in like several articles on him. They said the same thing. It wasn't like they copied and pasted. These were coming from people who actually knew the game. So that's where I got that from. And so he's not credited with those 2 Super Bowls in the early 80s after him, but they say that to talk about his mind, his ability to judge talent. And that's why they came to him for the video game, as a matter of fact. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So I agree with Guru. I couldn't say that he was top 5. I don't even think I could probably say top 10. But top 15 or 20, yeah, definitely top 15 probably. I could make room for John in the top 15 and lose no sleep over it, and wouldn't feel like I'm cheating anybody else. I would be fine with it.
Well, let me say this. Let me just say this before. I'm sorry, Zar. Let me just put this in. Let me go right ahead. With the statistics that you named, I would have to say I'm not going to give him Flores credit because I believe Flores, if memory serves me, is like the first Latino coach to ever win a Super Bowl. Okay, but what I will say is, and if he won as the other number genius, Mr. Sports Angle said in 80 and 83. I mean, one was 2 years after, and one was 5 years after. I can't give him credit for that either. Those are Flores' teams. But what I will say is, with the percentages that you named, going to the championship game 8 or 9 years, 7 years, whatever it was, he might have to be in the top 10. That might sway me with that further information to say. At first I said he's not in the top 5, he's not in the top 10. He definitely in the top 15, but if you consider all the numbers that you came up with, even though, because there has been situations where Gale Sayers still is deemed as one of the greatest running backs ever, only played a short time. Same thing for Roberto Clemente. Got killed in a accident, a plane crash, I believe. So I do think that I have to say that he's borderline top 10. You changed my mind with those great statistics you have. You gave him too much credit, but the information you came up with was on point, and I think it deserves him to be in the top 10, in my opinion. And maybe if it's 10, that's fine with me, but I don't think I could push him back to 15 anymore.
Okay.
The
Let
floor
me
is
make
yours,
let me make sure I make this clear. I am not giving him credit. I said I read where others are giving him credit. I give them credit for saying that as part of his legacy, that, hey, he put these teams together. I do give him credit for that, for putting the teams together. But yes, Flores had to go and win the doggone game. And that's the objection, the same objection that I have with the whole Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr argument. I'm like, I don't care what you're giving. People say it all the time about Mike Tomlin, that he won his first one. I mean, yeah, his first one he won his Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's team. And I think that's bull. You still have to know what you're doing. I don't care how great the players are that's been assembled. So yeah, I'm not going to ever take anything away from Tom Flores. Flores is on the top 25 list of coaches of all time as well. And he's not a bad coach at all. He's a great coach. So I won't take that away from him. But I'm just saying that's I just wanted to clarify that's what I was reading, and that they said it over and over, that he's credited with putting them together. Yeah. He's not credited with their Super Bowls. I just wanted to make sure that
I understand the distinction. Like I said,
I'm not crediting him for that either.
I heard exactly what you said, and like I said, I'm in spite of that. Like I said, I wanted to make it clear that I give Flores his credit, just like I give Chucky his credit, in spite of maybe his racial whatever. You can't take people away when they put in the work. That's my only point. And like I said, with what you said, I think he's higher than what I said, because if you get to the championship game 7 out of the 10 years, I mean, the Eagles did that when Donovan McNabb was there, and they never won. Okay, there's my Minnesota Vikings with Denny Green never won. They never got to the Super Bowl. So it's not hard to. It's the hardest thing it is in sports to do is to win a championship. That's the hardest thing to do. Even more so than individual records, because it takes everybody, the team, from the general manager to the ball boy to the equipment manager. They all get rings. All yours, Czar, I think.
Czar. Y'all pretty much hit everything on the nail. I mean, we did our top 5 coaches. I really did no top 10 or top 15, so it would be off the top of the head. I don't think he would make my top 10, but I can see top 15 where you initially had him. I can see that just kind of going off the, thinking in my head. I could definitely see top 15, but you guys hit the points. And like I said, I think it's a bigger impact as far as the combination, coaching. He may be the best commentator that football's ever had.
Yes.
Obviously the video game, maybe the greatest sports video game of all time. So if you're talking that, so he could be number 1 as far as impact on football. Right. I'll put him at 1 if we're including his whole career. But as a coach, I would say top 15.
Okay. So why you really don't think he cracks that top 10?
There's just a lot of great. There's no knock on him. There's a lot of great coaches that that are out. Think about it. There's only 10. There's a lot of great coaches. I mean, like I said, over them, but there's some names out there.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking you because I respect your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, and this is me not sitting down like doing, how we do our list, we do our research. We just did 5, and I didn't have John Madden on my list. You know how like we do our 5, we probably have about 10 on there or 11, then we narrow it down. I don't remember having John Madden as like my 10 or 11. Then I got to cut this down to 5. So that's kind of why I say that.
The sports angle.
So
where did you rank John Madden as a head coach?
Well, as a head coach, let me break this up into 2 parts. In terms of his football intelligence, in terms of what he knew about the game, he's probably top 5. I mean, everyone brought up the fact that he had an amazing IQ when it came to the game of football. Mm-hmm. Now, his longevity, similar to what George Grew said about, Bears legend Gale Sayers, has always been the thing that kind of knocks him down. Because yes, he only coached 10 years in the NFL. 75% winning percentage, by the way, is incredible. But because he was only a coach for 10 years and because his career was so short, that's the reason why you can't really put him top 5. You can't put him up there with the Bill Walshes and George Halas's. You can't put him up with the Don Shula's, Bill Belichick's, Vince Lombardi's. You just can't really put him up there because they all had longevity in what they did. So when it comes to John Madden, you could make an argument that maybe he's 10, like, right at 10, right at 11. You could make that argument. Top 15, absolutely. But when it comes to one of the greatest coaches of all time, even being considered a top 10 coach is just an amazing achievement nonetheless.
Okay. Dennis.
Hey, you know what? I might have to say he is top 10. Because I'm thinking about the other guys that I got from 5 through 10. Most of those guys from 5 through 10, I think 2 of them I got on there, got 1 championship.
Now, who are the 2?
Maybe.
As of right now,
Would you still
probably Andy Reid.
Of Russell Westbrook?
Andy Reid and Dick Vermeil, too. Two of them 2 got 1 championship.
My next
And I just wanted to look up something real quick. Bill Walsh only coached 10 years himself.
Oh, he's definitely top 5.
So
I didn't go by the 10-year. I didn't go by that. I mean, someone brought it up. 10 years. I mean,
I'm just mentioning Walsh because he's in that top 5.
Right. And
didn't he also coach in college football too?
Rocco, you didn't even mention, like, and then not on purpose, but like you named all these. What I'm saying is a lot of coaches. You didn't even name Tom Landry when you were naming all these name dropping. It's a lot of great coaches that, again.
But see, that's the point. Like, I just named like the first 5 that came into my head.
And that's what I'm saying. Right, there's a lot. It's tough.
My next question.
Good question, Ron. You still owe me my money, but good question.
Once again,
after the show, or something?
After the show, I'm talking business right now.
Tell him, Ron.
All right. I thought I was talking business too, but okay.
Your business, the weight.
Okay. God bless.
My next question. Do you think the commissioner in the NFL needs to get fired?
No. For what? He does what the league, the owners, the plantation owners want him to do. He's making, quite frankly, I mean, they're paying him astronomical money.
They got 2 full tight ends. They got 9.
Oh, what the heck was that? Go ahead, Guru.
Yeah, I mean, no, so there's no reason. I mean, I don't like him. I don't like some of his stances that he's taking, but even over the last year, I haven't had much to argue with him. A lot of what really that I despise him and a lot of the owners is what they did to Kaepernick. And I'm never going to forgive them for what they did, because I'm always going to be opposed to, what do they call them? Not boycotts, but, what they did to Mark Jackson.
Blackballing.
Yeah, that's something that as an African American, as in my late 50s or early 50s, excuse me, things like that are dear to me in terms of, it hurts me still. So when I see those type of things done, I'm going to do everything in my will to stop it or to help people understand it and to grow and hopefully to make sure it doesn't, continue as much as I can. So that's where my, animosity towards him. But like I said, whether the way they've handled COVID and everything, and I've mentioned it before, even this whole new policy about the 5 days with the CDC and all this kind of stuff, it's about money, man. That's all it's about. NFL want to get paid, man. And that's really all they care about. And you know what? Most people feel the same way, whether they say it or not. Most people just want to get paid.
But how you going to get paid and you don't got no players and all your players getting sick?
Well, but that's the point. They changed the rules, Ron. So now, like, all you have to do is be cleared 5 days and you can be back on the field. Now, I don't know what's going to happen if, say, for example, the Super Bowl is 3 days from now, and the two Super Bowl quarterbacks catch COVID, and they don't have the 5 days to clear them. Then we got a major problem on our hand. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know but this is the world we live in, man. Every day it's hard to go outside. It's hard to do different things. I see people flying. I see people, going to bars and drinking and taking their mask off. But certain things I'm not going to do. But I can't tell other people how to act. That's that's individual choice that people are making. So it's just. What can I tell you?
Sports Angel, what do you think?
So unfortunately, Sports Guru kind of took what I was going to say. But when it comes to the NFL, they just make too much money. I mean, why would you fire somebody if they're making a boatload of money? I mean, when it comes to Roger Goodell, when it comes to the NFL owners, look, the NFL owners, they make money hand over fist. They can pretty much sleep for 24 hours and make more money than all of us in this room combined. So when it comes to the NFL, these owners aren't going to complain. They're not going to fire Roger Goodell. They'll probably give him a raise because of the fact of how much money they make in the NFL. So when it comes to Roger Goodell, he's not going to be fired. And let's be honest, most commissioners never get fired. They do their full tenure, they do their full pension, and then they retire peacefully and they make all that money immediately afterwards anyway. So when it comes to Roger Goodell, he's not going to get fired. He's going to be promoted and get more money and more money and more money until he retires and they give him that nice pension for the rest of his life, and they'll move on to the next one.
Czar, what do you think?
Get him out of here. Get him out. I never liked that guy. I think he's terrible. Guru mentioned what I was going to bring up, the Cap, that whole situation. I've never been a fan of the dude, and he's fake to me. I remember when the beginning Cap stuff, and then when all the stuff was going on, then he tried to come back and now he's for it. He's for all of it, and it's just, dude, get out of here, bro. So yeah, go ahead and X him out. There's somebody out there better that can do the job, that actually has a better soul. Let's get him out.
Hey Czar, every time he changes his mind, you know what I think about? Winky, winky, slide. That's it.
Sure. What do you think, Sam?
So the question is, should he be fired?
Should he be fired?
No. Mm-mm. No, I don't have any issues with Roger Goodell. I just don't.
Okay.
I like him.
We need to read the comments.
Well, did you give your opinion?
To be honest, I can't stand him.
Why?
My opinion, he's not for the players, he's for the owners.
They pay his salary.
Wait a minute, but the players make the owners money. Yes or no?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so
wait, let them finish, y'all. Go ahead.
So you need trying to understand where the players coming from before you crucify them.
What do you mean crucify him?
He trying to be the judge, the jury, and everything when people get in trouble.
Okay. And what else? Go ahead.
I mean, I just think he got too much power.
Is that his fault?
Yes, because they gave it to him. He could have said, I need help with some of this.
Come on, Ron.
Wait a minute.
Come on.
Ron.
Wait, Sports Angle. Listen.
You asked for
No, I know. I asked you, but I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense though. He is not going to realistically say, nobody's going to say, hey, I'm giving you all this power. Nobody's going to say, oh, don't give me all that power. Don't do that. Nobody's going to say that, especially not for all that money. That's not realistic.
You're right.
They're not going to say that. That's one. Two, you can't blame him because they gave him all the power. That's my thing. That's the reason why I feel the way I do. That's part of the reason. That's not the only reason. Because I mean, I mentioned this earlier. There was a collective bargaining agreement. They ironed it out. The players signed off on it, and the man has the power to be judge, jury, and executioner, as you say. Well, I don't necessarily think that that's what is really happening, but that's fine. It sounds good on social media and podcasts, so everybody says that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is he was given the power. The players gave it to him because they agreed to the doggone contract. They agreed to the agreement.
See,
they agreed to it, and they shouldn't have. But I cannot hold him responsible or accountable because they messed up in their agreement. He's just reaping the benefits. I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah.
That's in 3. What commissioner do you know is on the side of the player? I don't know one. I think out of all the commissioners, the NBA commissioner does consider the players and the needs of the player more than any others.
David Stern was my guy.
But in the end, he works for the owners of the teams, not governors, owners, because that's what they are. They own the team. That stupid governor's word makes me so sick. It's so ridiculous. They're owners. And that's who the commissioner is employed by. Okay? So I can't, for all those reasons, I can't hold that against Roger Goodell. And then about him being phony, y'all talking about being phony. I don't think he was phony at all. So with the whole Kaepernick thing, I never bought into the belief that he personally agreed with that. And when the trial came up with Kaepernick and the other guy, the one where they actually settled, it came out in the trial that Roger Goodell did go to the owners saying, hey, what y'all doing? This is not cool. He couldn't speak about it publicly because why? He works for them. So he couldn't do it, but it came out in the trial. So it confirmed that no, he was saying to them, no, guys, this is not the move. They didn't listen. Why? Because they didn't have to listen. It's their damn league. Do I think it's right? No, I don't think it's right. I feel they are a bunch of racist MFers, all of them, all 32 of them. Yeah, I do. But here's the thing. It is what it is. I don't like it, but that's what it is. That's the power they gave that man. He's acting within it. I cannot say, I do not hold him accountable for Kaepernick because I'm not letting any of those owners off the hook. They call all the shots in that or in the NFL, in the Shield. They are the Shield. And they did that purposely to Kaepernick alone. There was nothing that Goodell could have done to stop that. Nothing. Not one thing. So I don't fault him for that. I don't use that as my judgment of him. My judgment comes from the way he's behaving as the commissioner on a personal level. I don't have any problem with the things that he's done. That's just me. And I'm sure, I'm not even looking at the comments right now, but I'm sure people trash me in the comments and I don't really care.
Well, Ron, there was one thing. There was one thing I was going to say, but Sharon, I was going to let you do what you did. When it comes to Ron, your question, if you had said, when it's in terms of somebody should be fired, Roger Goodell and Rob Manfred should be fired today. But will they be fired? No and no. They're not going to be fired because the owners pay a salary.
What?
It's like what Sharon said. They're not going to fire someone that has money in their pocket.
But why should Roger Goodell be fired? I know why Manfred should. I know why the baseball commissioner should be fired. But why should Roger Goodell be fired?
I just think.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we will have to conclude this, but go ahead, Ron. I'm gonna let you finish your last joint.
I just think we need.
I wanted to know why Sports Angle said that Goodell should be fired. I was just curious.
Well, I think Sports Angle could tell you that, but Ryan, go ahead, finish what you gotta say, Ryan.
I just think we need a new GM. Yeah, about that time too.
Oh, you mean commissioner?
I mean, yeah, new commissioner.
All right, go ahead, Sports Angle, so we can end the show.
The reason why I said that he should be fired is because of the fact that in terms of his decision making, in terms of the way that games have been ending over the last couple of years, in terms of the way the sport has, kind of devolved over the last couple of years, I've always said that when it comes to Roger Goodell, he should be fired because of the incompetence and because of the inconsistency that's been going on in the NFL. But once again, he's not going to be, because the owners pay his salary and he does what the owners tell him to do. So, he's not going to get fired, but he should be because of the incompetence and inconsistency that goes on in the NFL.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming out tonight. Talk US Tuesday crew. Thank all our guests, Blaze, Sports Angle in the building. God bless. Good night.